for this. So what we will be covering in this training is we'll start from the very basics, okay, of SAP, and then we'll focus on what is the role of the SAP basis administrator, what are the concepts, and what are the activities that we do, and what are the different transactions code, what is an SAP system, what are the issues that you can face commonly, and how do you take action on those. We'll try to cover all these chapters, okay, so that at the end of this you have a very good idea of what is SAP, and what are the activities of an SAP basis administrator. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let us start. Since you already have a background on SAP, I suppose we can start from there itself. You know what SAP is. It is a ERP software, enterprise resource planning, which means when a company wants to automate or digitize its entire administration of or and all the processes within that organization, they use an ERP software, and SAP is one of the products in the market for that. There are many products. SAP is one of those. There is also product from IBM. There are products from Oracle, Microsoft. All these companies have their own ERP software, but SAP is a similar software. However, SAP is the market leader. It has more than 75% market leadership. Okay, market share of the ERP market segment is with SAP. So if you want to get into ERP, as an ERP professional, it makes perfect sense to get into SAP. Okay, because you're secure job wise, because for a long, long time SAP is going to be here. Okay. So when we come to how SAP is used in an organization, like every organization, whether it is some private company or some government organization, all these have certain departments. Like if you take, for example, any company, they will have an HR department where they recruit people and they manage their salary, maybe then their appraisals, their hikes, all those things are managed by the HR department, right? So for that, HR needs to have details of all the employees and what are their designations, what are their roles, what are their salaries, who is their manager, who is their reportee. All those kind of informations are kept with the HR department. Similarly, if it is suppose it is a manufacturing company which manufactures automobiles. Okay, if it is an automobile manufacturing company, then what they will have a factory, right? In the factory, if they have to manufacture automobile, first they have to procure the raw materials, which means they have vendors who will provide them the raw materials. They'll purchase it from the vendor. They will store it in a godown, which is known as an inventory. When you store stuff in your warehouses or your godown, that is known as inventory. So there is vendor management, there is inventory management. Then in the factory you do the manufacturing, so you have processes related to that. There is process planning, product planning, manufacturing, material management. All those kind of different departments, different activities are happening, but they are all connected to each other also, right? Because they all work together to make their organization successful. So in the olden days, all these things were managed in book and paper, in files, in cupboards. And if one department had to communicate with the other department, they would have to take that file from one table to the other, get their signature, then move forward, etc. Are you still there? Raghavendra has left the meeting. I think he got disconnected. Okay, you back?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I thought you got bored and left.
No, no, no. Actually, I mistakenly put that some developers link
Okay,
regarding this.
okay. So as I was saying, there are all these various departments which talk to each other, work together to make the business successful. And in olden days, all this used to be done by pushing paper from one table to the other. But nowadays, they have to log into SAP, and they put an entry there. It automatically goes to the other department, and they can put their update, and it goes like that. So it all automated. and well coordinated with less chances of mistakes or communication gap or time wasting, etc. Because of this, the efficiency of the organization improves, and that is how and that is why ERP software is there in the market. Every business is using some software or the other once it becomes a large size company, so that things can be managed better. So that is where ERP software has its utility in every industry. And among all the ERP softwares, like I said, SAP is the market leader. Now, SAP also has different modules depending on each company or each process. Like I mentioned earlier about HR. So there is a HR module in SAP which SAP has developed so that all the HR processes of the organization can be managed there. Then similarly, if if it is if it is for the we earlier talked about production planning or material management. So for all of these processes also there is a separate module. So experts of that particular module, someone who is an expert in material management or in finance and costing. So the experts of those particular modules, they work on that particular module of SAP. Okay, and they are called the functional consultants, because a person who has knowledge of material management, that person will be the consultant. Okay, similarly HR consultant will be there, etc. Then there are these are all known as functional consultants, because these are all functional roles. Okay, these are all business related roles. Apart from that, there are two other type of technical roles. One is the administration of that SAP system, which means taking care of the system, making sure that the system is always up and running. If there are any issues or errors that need to be fixed, then the technical person will come into the picture and solve it. Okay, or if there is any code that needs to be changed, if there is any bug in the software or any bug in any particular program. After all, this is a software. Okay, so it requires programming and coding. So these two roles, that is, one is the administration, the other is the coding or the development, the program or code development. These two roles are the technical modules. These are the technical modules in SAP. So there is a functional module and there is the technical module. Okay, follow me so far?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. Okay, so let me just share my screen. I'll just show you. If it is there on the screen and you see it, it's possible that you will remember better. So as I said, there are two types of SAP modules. One is the technical and the other is functional. So in functional, the business processes or the business functions come into this role. That is for example, which is HR, which is material management. Then there is HR. Then there is FICO. Then there is PP, which is production planning. Okay, then there is SD, which is sales and distribution. Every company will have these type of roles, right? Every organization has these things. So that is why all these SAP also has all these functional modules. And similarly, for the administration part, you have for the technical part, you have the administration, you have the administrator, and you have the developer. Okay, so what does the administrator do, Raghav?
I think he manages all the SAP application, and I know all like he manage all which functional modules are working, right? That is HR, FICO, PP, HD, and which developer are working on. That he will take control of that.
Yeah, well, basically he does the administration. So if there is an SAP server, right? SAP is a software which runs on a server. Okay, so suppose there is this SAP server on which SAP is installed. It is a software which is installed on this server, and the company has hundreds of employees. Okay, each of these is a different employee. Okay, all of them connect to this server to use that application. So each employee will have a computer or a laptop or whatever, and with that they connect to this server and use the application. So while using, if they face any problem, okay, it could be any problem, but if it is a problem with the server, like for this server crash, suppose something happened and someone shut down the server, then SAP will not be reachable. Then all these people, they will complain, right? So when they complain that this system is not reachable, it is the duty of the administrator to come and check, by what happened, why is it not accessible, what is wrong. That is the administrator. Or if there is some new installation required, if a new SAP system needs to be installed, or if the SAP system needs to be upgraded or patched, like for example, currently you are on patch 20 and SAP released a new patch, right? So patch 21. So that means upgrades. The system needs to be upgraded. So there also the SAP administrator comes into the picture. Okay, so this SAP administrator is what is known as the SAP basis consultant. Okay, and like I said, it is a software after all. So software needs development and coding, etc. That is done by the developer, and developer is the ABAP. The language in which the programming language which SAP uses is ABAP. Okay, there is also SAP also has the ABAP. ABAP is what SAP used to be exclusively before, but now there is also Java also. There is a separate SAP Java server, SAP ABAP server. There are separate, but whatever it is, it could be ABAP or it could be Java. But they both form the developer team, and basis person forms the is the administrator. Okay, so when you say basis or when you say SAP administrator, you mean the SAP basis person. So these are all the functional roles, and ABAP and Java form the developer, and basis is the technical. Basis is the administrator. So and they both form the technical roles. Okay.
Okay.
Now coming to I showed you earlier. Um, I told you earlier about the SAP server. Okay, there is the SAP server to which all these people connect, right? Um, when I say SAP server, that is also in two parts. Okay, when we say SAP server, there is an SAP actually server on which the application is installed, but there is also another server behind it, which is the database server. Okay, so there is the SAP server and there is a database server. Do you understand what is database or what is database server? Any idea?
I think database server is nothing but the data. I think this all is there. There may be Cardigan, this Oracle, maybe Sybase, DB2. These will come under I think this database. I don't
Correct,
know
correct.
exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, you're correct. Those are the various database products. But what is a database?
I mean, that which stores all the data related to this, all this like finance, production, sales, HR, material management.
Sorry.
I stores the data related to the business.
Correct, correct. So database. Wow, suddenly you gave that. Are you like googling at the same time? Did you Google it just now or what? Because you gave.
No,
Uh,
no, actually.
this is not an interview. You can say if you don't know, you can say you don't know. Okay. So
No,
you don't
actually,
have to. Yeah.
because I am giving some interview, so just coming in that side.
Right. Okay. Okay. ठीक है. So anyway, so there are two parts. So database is where all the data is stored. Okay, like for example, this is true not just for SAP but for any software, any platform. It's like that. For even if you take your email, for example, if you have Gmail, okay, keep SAP aside. Just let's talk about Gmail. You log into the server. Sorry, not the server. You go to the Gmail website. You enter your username and password, and you go in, right? So what is happening in that is what you see on your screen, but what is happening in the back is this is your laptop. Okay, from this laptop you opened your browser and you logged into Gmail, but in the background what you have done, when you go to gmail.com, it is taking you to the Gmail server. This is the application server. Okay, automatically it is connecting there, and that is what throwing you the login screen. When you, as soon as you connect to it, it will come back to you and give you the login screen. There you type in your username and password, and you hit login or you hit enter. That information again goes back to the Gmail server, and what Gmail server will do now is that it will connect to its database. Okay, there will be a database in behind this Gmail server. In the database, it will search for your username, whether whatever username you have entered here, whether it is present there or not, it will check. And if it is present, if it finds that the correct username is there, then it will look for the whether the password is matching. And if password is also matching, if the username password combination is correct, then it will throw the next it will throw the message back to Gmail saying okay, authentication successful. And with that, it will throw the next message to you with the next screen, which is your emails. And for that also, it will again go back to the same database, look for all your emails, and again give it to the Gmail server, and Gmail server gives it to your laptop. And that is how you see it on your all your email on your browser. Okay, so this is true for Gmail. This is true for even whatever other software you use everywhere. Even if you, for example, I'm just think Amazon also. If you go there, you log in first. Login process is same. Then after logging in, you search for some product. Okay, when you hit enter or search on your laptop, it goes back to this Amazon server. Amazon server will go to the database, its database. Okay, it will search for that product, its details, it gives that information back to the Amazon server, and Amazon server gives it to you on your laptop, and it presents you. Similarly, if you're going to any to the IRCTC website to book any ticket, maybe same process over there also. Okay, and exactly the same process happens here in SAP also. Okay, earlier I said there are all these users, hundreds of users in a company. Every user will have their own user ID and password. So they will try to log in here. Okay, from this laptop, they will enter their username and password. That goes to the SAP server. SAP server takes that information back to the database server. Database server does the authentication part, sends back to the SAP server that okay, yeah, username password is correct. And then this SAP server gives you the next screen. Okay, the login screen. After login, whatever is the landing page, it will give that. But if the username password is incorrect, it will tell the SAP server, bhai, login did not work. So accordingly, you will get that message on your screen also, that username password incorrect. Then it will give you another chance to enter the password, etc., etc. But once you do that, if it's correct authentication, the next step whatever you do, again it does the same thing. Let us do that actually. So this is our demo server. Okay, for example, here this is configured already. Okay, whenever you want to access an SAP system, which is a ABAP system, like I said, there are two types of SAP systems. There is an ABAP system. ABAP system, always you will connect through this software known as the SAP GUI or SAP front end or SAP log on. Okay, so in this SAP log on, you have to define the connection. Okay, little while earlier, Harshit had provided me this information. So I configured here that information. I put the username and password. Sorry, I put the application server name, the instance number, and the system name. Every system has its own name. Okay, every SAP system will have a three-character name for itself, which is known as the SID. Okay, system ID, that is SID. So that you differentiate it, so that you know which system you're trying to log into, because there will be different SAP systems. There will be one SAP system for ERP, that is the ECC, which is basically the enterprise resource planning system. Similarly, as you know, you have worked on BW, so there will be a different BW system. Okay, and there could be I mean, there are many different products that SAP has. So every SAP product will have a different server and a different system. So to identify which system you are logging into, you will assign a three character ID to each. What is this three character ID called?
It's system ID.
System ID, which is same as SID. In short, we call it SID. Okay, so there is the SID, there is the instance number. We will understand what is instance number little later. Once we know a little bit more about the SAP architecture, I will explain this to you. And then there is the IP address or host name, which is the actual server. This is a server. Okay, this can be a server on which SAP is installed. So you have a Windows or a Linux server on which you have SAP installed. So this is the IP address of that server. Do you know what is meant by IP address?
I know, but Like I can't explain it.
Ah, okay, fine. Don't Google. So, what IP address is basically on a network. Okay, on a network, every system will have a ID. It's just like this. If you want to go to Google, you type google.com, it takes you there.
Yeah, I think it's just like RFC connection, right?
RFC connection also, no, that is a connection. This is an identification.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So, if you want to connect to a particular server, you have to know that, right? If you want to connect to me, you have to call my phone number, for example, right?
Okay.
You have to dial my number, then you will reach me. Similarly, if you want to reach a server, it has a number assigned to it, and that number is the IP number. That is the IP address. So this is the IP address of this server. This IP address will only be there for this server. It's unique in a particular network. This is unique. Okay, no other server name can be anything, but IP address will only be only one IP address can be there for this server. Okay, no other server will have the same IP address. Every server will have its own separate IP address. So the basic command to find the IP address is, I will just open command prompt on my laptop, and I will show you. Um, this is command prompt, basic command prompt. If I want to find out, I just have to type ipconfig in Windows Server. If you do ipconfig, it gives you your IP address. See, IP4, this is my IP address. No other computer or no other server in my network will have this. So if anyone wants to connect to me, they can directly connect to me by this IP address, like that. Or similarly, our training server is installed on this training SAP system is installed on this IP address. So this is the address to connect to that particular server. So you have to provide that. So once I provide this application server name, once I provide the SAP SID and the instance number, and if the connection is fine, then if I double click on it, I will get this window opening up. Okay, I double click on it, it opened up. What exactly happened in the background is that on this laptop, okay, I double clicked on this laptop, this SAP logon pad is installed. What is that? This GUI software is installed, and in this GUI software, this entry is there. I double clicked on it. What it did with this information provided, that is the SID, the IP address, and the instance number, it identified that I have to connect to this server. Okay, so it sent the message to this server, and from that server it automatically got the response back. Since it is up and running over there, the SAP application there is up and running perfectly fine. That is why it threw me through this logon screen to me. This is very exactly same as how you type google.com in your browser. When you type google.com, it goes to the Google server, it sends you back the login screen. It is the same thing, no difference. Okay, and then now it is asking me for username and password. Basically it asks for four things: client, username, password, and language. uh, uh, what is client, and I will explain to you later when we get to that. Language is basically English. Whatever is the language in which your SAP system is installed, you can mention here. You can set default also. If you saw this client number, we didn't have to specify, it came on its own, right? I didn't have to specify it. If I click on the logon pad, automatically the client number came. Okay, because it has been set in the system that this is the client number, and language is also already by default it is set, so I don't have to put it. But I have to provide the username and password. Every user will have their own username and password. And as you can see, from this laptop I connected here, it is throwing me the login screen, and now I have to type the username and password. I have that username and password. Let me check.
अच्छा और कोई ज्वाइन करने एक करने वाले थे वो ज्वाइन किए क्या वो जो ज्वाइन करने लगे थे सब समन से ज्वाइन किए वेट कर लेते हैं सर तब तक आप स्टार्ट किए
Okay.
वेट कर लेते हैं यस सचिन जस्ट स्टार्ट करके समन ज्वाइन मतलब कि इंट्रोडक्शन स्टार्ट ओके
Okay, I'm typing wrong password now. Okay, just to show, I typed the username and now I'm typing the wrong password. It told me what? Name or password is incorrect.
It's
Enter again.
ECC system, right?
This is an ECC system, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is an IDES ECC system. IDES means
Yeah.
SAP is themselves providing training systems. Okay, dummy system SAP provides. So that is what this is. So, and it is also ECC EHP7 enhancement pack 7, and that is why I think on based on that only they decided the SID EH7. So I typed the wrong password. It says name or password incorrect. What does that mean? What happened in the background is the laptop sent the username and password to the SAP server. SAP server sent that information to the database. Database checked and identified that the combination is incorrect, and it sent the information back to the server, and server sent the message back to me on my screen, which says name or password is incorrect. Okay. Now I will type the correct password and see what happens. Okay, it says number of failed. It even recorded that I had made a wrong attempt. So it is giving me that information, number of failed attempts 1, and then I click OK. It took me in. So this means what? Login is successful. Okay. Again, what does this mean? This time again, I entered the right username password that sent it to the SAP server, that sent it to the database. It did the combination of username password, identified, found that it is correct. Okay. So it sent that information back to SAP server. What did SAP server do? It now knows that what I have to do when authentication is successful. I have to send the first landing page, the home page. So it sent me the home page. Okay, even in the home page, whatever you see here, all these icons, all the text, all these colors, everything, absolutely whatever you see on the screen, all the menu items, everything, everything, absolutely everything is stored in the database. It is taking everything from the database. Okay, from the SAP server is interpreting all that information, but it has to fetch everything from the database and send everything to the laptop. So SAP server has the application. Only the application can do the interaction part between the laptop and the database. All the data is in the database, but the code required to fetch that data from the who is telling the database, okay, this is the information I need, or take this information and give me this information. That is the duty of the SAP server, because that is where the program is. That is the purpose of the program. So that is what is happening here. SAP server communicating with database, database sending the information back to SAP, and SAP sending to us. Okay, and so I have this. So as I said, all this information is coming from where, Raghav?
It's from the database.
Correct. Good. So now we are logged in, everything is looking good. We are at the home page. Okay, so this is the basic how the data flow happens. So it is very important to understand this for SAP basis consultant or an SAP basis administrator. It is very important to understand how the data flow is happening between all the different pieces, that is the laptop, the server, and the database. Okay, so there are three tiers here. One is your laptop, second is the SAP server, third is the database server. The three tiers or the three layers. Okay, so what are the three layers? One is your the SAP GUI that is installed on your laptop, this one. Okay, this is where you see everything, right? This is where everything is presented to you. Okay, the application, that whatever you have to do, whatever input you have to give, you want to give here. Like if I have to hit a transaction code, I have to do it here. Okay, so this is the where all the presentation happens. So this is known as the presentation layer. All right, the presentation layer has the SAP GUI software. Or if it is a Java system, basically Java systems are based on browser. So SAP systems can also be accessed from browser. Those are the Java systems. Okay, so if it's an ABAP system, it goes through GUI, the SAP GUI. And if it's GUI means basically graphical user interface. Okay, GUI full form is graphical user interface. That's a very commonly used term. So you have the SAP GUI to access SAP ABAP systems, and you use your browser to use SAP Java system. SAP Java systems are basically portals or websites. Okay, SAP also has that also, that product as well. So for some products, you have to use the SAP Java product, and that uses browser. For example, which state, where are you located? Which city or which state?
It's from Chittoor district, Madanpalli. It's near Bangalore. Bangalore, like around 2.5 hours from Bangalore.
Okay, okay, okay. So in if you if you try to access the Bangalore Municipal Corporation website, okay, that website is actually implemented by SAP. So it is actually an SAP product that it is SAP portal that they are using to build that product, to build that website. So it is an SAP Java system. Okay, for example. Similarly, our if you want to apply for your passport, the passport website is completely top to end is an SAP product implemented and maintained by TCS, Tata Consultancy. They have a long-term contract for that. Anyway, so those are all Java examples of Java SAP Java systems in action. You can actually use that, and you know that okay, I'm using an SAP product. So SAP Java systems are accessed through browser, and ABAP systems are accessed through SAP GUI. So when you access it from your laptop, you either use a browser or you use the SAP GUI, and that is why it is known as the presentation layer, because this is where all the presentation is happening. All the input output is presented here. Okay, on this one. Next is what? Next is the SAP server, which has the actually SAP application. The SAP program is running here. Okay, so this is known as the application layer. Okay.
Okay, sir, please send me your mail ID. Sir, may I know, are you available tomorrow at 11 a.m.? Okay, okay, sir. Okay,
And
sir.
then
Please share your
behind
details
that,
with me.
SAP is the application. Here you have the application is basically the software. Software is what is also known as application. So this is SAP application server. That is the SAP application layer. Okay, and behind that you have the database. And what is that known as? Can you guess?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
If this is the presentation layer and this is the application layer, what
Right.
layer is this?
Yeah, it's database layer.
Correct. So this is the database layer. Okay. So this is how this is the basic architecture of SAP, which is known as the R3 because of the three tiers or the three layers. This is known as the R3. SAP products used to be known as R3 at some point of time. Now the name has evolved, the product has evolved in the 80s and 90s and all. I think long back it was known as SAP R3. Before that it was R2 actually, very long ago. It was R2, then it became R3, then it became SAP NetWeaver, which is still in use. SAP NetWeaver came about in the 2000s. Okay, and the latest is S4, SAP S4. Okay, so
This
you are
SAP
using.
Network 7.5, these all are one or how it's different?
Come again?
This SAP Network 7.5 and this SAP is for these are different, right?
Uh, yeah, they are different. I'll explain to you how it is. SAP NetWeaver was started with SAP 6 point something, 6.1, 6.2, or was it 6? Directly, it came with 6.4 something. This was long ago. Okay. After that, it became SAP NetWeaver 7.0. Then came 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, and then 7.5 also came. There is also 7.5, but that 7.5 is actually called as S4. Okay, like that. There is also NetWeaver 7.5, and there is also S4, which is also basically it is a version of 7.5 only, like 7.51, 52, 53, like that. It will be there. So that is actually S4. So SAP is actually now phasing out NetWeaver. NetWeaver has these are already out of the market. Okay, they are decommissioned, which means you cannot buy them or install them. Even if you have it, SAP is not supporting them anymore. You know how we have products which go out of warranty, out of guarantee. After that, manufacturer will not support it anymore. Then you have to use it at your own risk. But here you cannot even use it at your own risk because these are licensed software. Once license is over, you cannot use it anymore. So these are now out of license. So you cannot, it is illegal to use it. Okay. And you cannot even use it. The latest hardware and all, they are not built to support these things. You cannot even install. So this is out of the market. This is still there. uh, some products are there. 6 is already again gone, end of life. When a product goes out of support, it is known as end of life, which means you are not supposed to use it anymore. It is at your own risk that you are using it. Okay. So 6 point is now end of life. 7 is some part of 7.3, 7.4 is still in support, some part of it. 7.3, 7.4, and 7.5 NetWeaver, some of it is still in support. Like some is out of warranty, but SAP is giving in special case, is for particular customers, if they pay extra, SAP is ready to support them, but they will not release any more upgrades for them, like that. So some sort of support they are still providing for some of these products. Okay. But essentially, after I think 2024 or 2025, NetWeaver is also going to be completely out of the picture. Then only thing that is going to be there is SAP S4, which is going to be there till 2030 at least. 2029, 2030 is something is there in. They are going to retain it till then. By that time, something new will come. Okay. So so this is how it is. So 7.5 for S4 also, you need basic software behind it. Uses 7.5. Like I said, there is 7.1, 7 sorry, 7.51, 52, 53, like that. It is there. Okay. If you look at, for example, our system, let me show you. If we log in here, right? Somebody took. Harshit, are you there in the call? So somebody else is using this server with the same, exactly the same user, because of which, if I continue here, that person's login will be gone. Okay, so I will not do that. Let me try something else. I have another idea. Not working. Hmm. So you're not able to access the system because someone else is accessing it. I don't want to disconnect their session, so I'll leave it as it is. But anyway, so this is how it is. So these are the different SAP products. Now, beyond this, nowadays there is also something known as cloud infrastructure. Are you aware of that? Have
Is
you heard of
yeah, I think, right?
hmm?
Cloud, yeah, this analytic cloud, I think, right?
Which cloud?
See, when it comes to the BW part, there is a SAC part. I think it's something is some cloud thing actually.
Yes. No. You're correct. Did you say cloud analytics?
Yes.
Yeah, correct, correct. So that is part of it. So basically, what is happening is, there is something known as there is something known as the concept of cloud computing, which is coming into the IT world. In fact, not coming; it's already there, very widely being used now. Some 2 3 years ago, or maybe just before COVID, this started, coming in a big way. But now it is widely being used. Okay, most companies have switched to cloud. So because of that, this is the type of infrastructure that customers are going into. Okay. Um, okay. So let me briefly tell you what that is. Okay. So that these things, this basic architecture, basic structure is important to us. Why? Because as basis administrators, if you have to design some activity, or if you have to design a landscape, or even if in your day-to-day activities, as you mentioned earlier, you are getting incidents and tickets which you have to work on, then you need to be able to identify where the issue lies. Is it in the presentation layer? Is it in the application layer? Is it in the database? Is it somewhere in between? Okay, you should know all that. You should be able to identify all that, and you will be able to identify it only if you know this basic structure of how a SAP architecture is laid out, right? So coming to the concept of cloud, or coming to the concept of before cloud, you should know what is a data center, and and how what is the, where this SAP server, where this database server is all stored, and what it is. Do you know what is a data center? Have you heard this term, and are you familiar with that concept? No. Okay.
No, actually,
So
I don't know about the cloud.
you don't know about cloud. Okay. So what is a data center? First, let us cover data center. Okay. So data center means what? Take any. Let's take example of some company of your choice. Give me name of any company.
TCS.
Okay, TCS. TCS is an IT company. Some other company. Give me non-IT.
You only tell.
Okay. So let's. I mean, I was having a block, so I was not able to think. But okay, Maruti. Let's take Maruti car company. Okay. All right. So Maruti is
Yes.
a really big company. They will have, which means they will, if they have, I do not know if they have SAP, but if they do, then it will be a big landscape. Why? Because they will have thousands of employees who want to access that server at the same time. Okay. So because of which they need to have really powerful server, and they need to have many servers, and their database also will be very big. Why? Because they are generating lot of transactions on a daily basis, lot of data being generated, so their database also needs to be very big. Okay. So for big companies, what happens is, you need to have not one server. One server means what? One server is one computer. Okay. But for really big companies, that is not enough. If you look at really big companies, they generate huge amount of data on a daily basis, lot of transactions happening, lot of processing happening. So server capacity has to be that much. Server capacity has to be so much that they need not just one server or two servers or 10 servers. They need an entire building. Entire building is dedicated just for server. Okay, this whole building will have hundreds of servers. And there are even customers who have not one building but a whole complex of buildings only for servers. Okay, if you look at really big customers, like for example Maruti or SBI or Toyota or Tata or Birla or Reliance, all these big companies, they have entire complexes, entire size of a village maybe, which is simply servers and nothing else. So one big compound will be there, and then they will cover that compound with very high security. They will make sure that there is extremely robust and good quality connectivity to those servers, to this whole complex. Okay. Means, I mean, connectivity means, I mean, IT internet connectivity, that kind of thing. Then they will also ensure there is 24/7 power and electricity and other things, because if power goes and if the server goes down, then their entire business will stop, right? So they cannot afford that. And so they will have, they will ensure that all that type of infrastructure is in place. Okay. And in this whole complex, they will store their servers and install whatever is required. And this is not rare, this is very common. Okay. Almost, I mean, every big company, and there are thousands of companies, right? So they all have this type of a thing. Otherwise, what they do is, there are companies which also provide this kind of setup. Like, if you do not need a whole building, or if you do not need a whole complex, you need only 3 4 servers, you need only this much, then what you will do, you will go to someone who already has a data center, and then you will say, okay, give me some 3 4 servers for rent. I mean, give me a place for 3 4 servers. I will put my servers there, and I will give you the rent. Okay. For example, IT companies do this. IT companies like IBM, TCS, all these big companies, they build this kind of data center. This is known as a data center. Data center basically means a huge, or huge or small, whatever. It could be just one building, it could be just one floor, or it could be this entire complex. All this is data center, place where servers are kept and data is kept. Okay, there will be huge racks of storage, huge racks of servers. Okay, there will be and if you use your laptop, that after half an hour of use or 1 hour of use, if you touch your laptop underneath, it is hot, right? So just imagine, if you have such powerful machines, how much heat will be generated. So for that, they keep all kind of cooling, air conditioning, all those things. So all this will be maintained. This infrastructure will be maintained by some IT company, and in this infrastructure, as much as required, that much space they will give for each separate customer. So this one rack will be for, or one building, or one server will be for one customer. The second one, next customer is maybe very big, so they will take the entire thing, okay, for the second customer. And then maybe there is a third customer which only needs this much space, okay, like that. And that customer will pay rent to the service provider, whatever, whoever is the service provider, maybe it is TCS, maybe Infosys or IBM, whoever. IBM is into this business in a really big way, okay, of data center services. These are not providing data center services. So this is how data center is. Okay, this is known as a data center. Now, maintaining a data center is an expensive affair. Why? Because first of all, you need to build this complex. Okay, so you need to spend money on that real estate, right? Land is costly, so you have to maintain that. Then you have to also set up all this infrastructure. All the infrastructure building, construction is one thing, but you have to maintain it also. Then secondly, you have to as I said, you have to make sure there is continuous and steady supply of power and other energy resources required for the air conditioning, etc., etc. So that also adds up to the cost. That is a constant running expense, right? You have to continuously take that expense. On top of all of that, you have all these servers. Servers are also not expensive. You have to maintain those servers. As and when your activity increases, as and when your company is growing, more business is coming up, then your server capacity has to be able to cope, right? Companies are always growing. So whatever you purchase a server today based on your current requirements, or maybe requirements for the next 5 years, but after 5 years, it's company is still making more money. They are always looking at expanding. So what will happen then? Then this server will become outdated. Even our own laptop, which we purchased 5 years ago, becomes
Hello.
slow in another 5 years, right?
Hi,
So we
sir.
also upgrade. Similarly, it happens to every IT infrastructure. So here also it happens. So there is a constant need to upgrade your hardware and software as well. So that expense also adds up. So adding up all of that, maintaining servers in the data center is a very costly and expensive affair. And since the companies want to make more money, they would like to reduce their expenses, right? If they are making crores of rupees, but if they are spending half of it on their IT infrastructure, then what is the point, right? Correct,
Okay,
Raghav?
sir. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. So so that is why this data center setup was proving to be very costly. Also, there is, as I said, they need to provide security in the terms of actual physical security also, so that there is no physical damage to their property or to their servers, but also IT security, like there should not be any hacking happening, all that. So that is also an extra expense to maintain the IT security of infrastructure. So all these things are there. So what has happened lately is that instead of companies maintaining their own separate data centers or small data centers like this, some companies like Amazon is a big player in this. Amazon, then there is Microsoft, then there is Google also. Okay, these are the three major players. They have, what they have done is, instead of having a data center like this, they created a much bigger data center like this, much bigger. Okay, and they are asking the other companies to hire place here, and they are providing all kind of guarantee. They are saying that we will give complete infrastructure regarding whatever I mentioned about the security, then the connectivity, and the power non interruption, like continuous 24 by 7 light and power. Okay, they are guaranteeing that we'll provide all that. At the same time, they are also providing that whatever upgrades required, it can happen faster, because they are making that much infrastructure available. They're putting so much investment into this, that if a customer wants to upgrade that server, it can happen quickly. Whereas if Maruti wants to upgrade a particular server, Maruti will have to go and look into the market. What is the new software? What is the new hardware available? Okay, well, how much is the budget for that? Okay, let us ask for some quotations from the manufacturers. So it will take 5-6 months even, okay, to upgrade their landscape. Whereas these people, these Amazon or Microsoft or Google, their whole business is this only. They don't have any other business. This is their business. When they do cloud computing, their only business is to maintain the servers, and so they have all kind of hardware, all kind of infrastructure readily available. So if the customer wants to upgrade, immediately they will do it. Okay, they even have technology now to do it online as well. You don't even have to take downtime. You want to add RAM to your server, it can be done online. If you want to add additional storage, you can do it online. That kind of a thing. A lot of virtualization has also come into the picture. Okay, so because of this, a lot of companies are switching here, because if a company, instead of maintaining their own data center, if they put they put it to the data center of Amazon, then they don't have to, that company Maruti doesn't have to now worry about power or security or upgrades or anything like that. Amazon is guaranteeing that we will do it. Okay, similarly Microsoft is also guaranteeing that if you put it in my cloud, then I will take care of it. So Amazon cloud is known as AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. Okay, that is their cloud name. Microsoft cloud is Microsoft Azure, and Google cloud is Google Cloud Platform, which is basically known as GCP. Okay, follow me so far.
Yes, yes, yes.
Any questions you have?
No, no.
Right. So
Got
you
it.
understood what is cloud?
Yes,
Did you understand what is data center?
yes.
So data center cloud is nothing but a bigger data center. Okay, it is nothing different. It is just a data center, but much bigger in size and managed by a third party. Even normal old data center could also be third party managed, but this is much bigger in size. Okay, and it provides all the facilities, all the features. For example, if you want to, like I said, if you want to expand your capacity, it can happen much faster. That is known as scalability. Scalability means what? You have a server with 8 CPUs today, but you want to make it into a 16 CPU server. How fast can you do it? That is known as scalability. So if you can do it if you can do it quickly, it is known as highly scalable. Whereas if you do it, if it takes time, then it is slow response, or the scalability is impacted by that. So cloud offers that kind of a thing. And now why I mentioned about cloud is because nowadays a lot of SAP customers are moving their systems over to cloud. Okay, they all used to have the old style infrastructure before of having servers and in data centers, but now all customers are moving the servers from those data centers over to cloud. Okay,
और जो भी ट्रेनर से बात होती है पहले उठ के
right.
उसको कोऑर्डिनेट करना पड़ता है।
So that is how. Let us see
यार जरा ऐसे पीएमएम भैंस के इसका नाम ही यही आ
what else is
रहा
there for today. So can you tell me, from what we discussed today, can you tell me what are the 3 tiers of an SAP in SAP architecture?
Yeah, it's you said that you explained this database server and laptop, right?
बढ़िया होता
This application layer, this presentation, and this data. First,
Right.
presentation is there, not then database.
Yes, correct. Presentation layer, application layer, database layer. And what is there in the presentation layer? There is a small piece of
See,
software installed there. What is that called?
yeah, it's GUI actually. I think
Correct.
in backend this MMC is installed. Right.
Yeah, MMC will be there. That is separate. That is on the SAP server. We'll come to that. Okay, but on the laptop, for the end user will not have that MMC. End user will have the SAP GUI. SAP GUI, SAP Launchpad, whatever you want to call it. If you look at this software on the top, it says SAP Logon Pad.
एसडी हाना का हाँ और ईसीजी का
SAP Logon.
फोर
Okay,
और फाइव
earlier it used
का
to called SAP Logon Pad used to be written, but now I think that was in 730 version. Now in 750 it is called SAP Logon. But basically it is what is known as SAP GUI. In industry terms, we call it SAP GUI. Then what is installed on the application layer?
Yeah, I think it's server, right? I said that
Right.
ML, all the this work process and all the things.
Correct, correct, exactly. Yeah. So application layer means it has the actual SAP application, which is SAP server, which can be, as you are already aware, it could be SAP ECC. Okay, it could be SAP BW, which is another of SAP product. Then there can be SAP PI. Then can you name any other SAP product?
Mm,
There is an SAP MDG is there. Then SAP GRC is there, of course. Then there is SAP Solution Manager. Come again?
SAP CRM, I think is there.
Yes, absolutely, very good. SAP CRM. Then these are all the different SAP products. So as I explained earlier, there is the SID. So if a particular company has all these different SAP products installed, it has to be able to identify which system is which. So here, this system it will maybe call SAP SAP ECC. It will call this, or ECP. Okay, ECP means what? ECP production. This may be BWP. This may be PIP, for example. It will give names like this. I'm just giving some example. It can be any three character name. Three letters, or a combination of letters and alphabets, but only three, restricted to three. This can be GRD, GRP, like that. Okay. So then when we talk about it, or when the customer wants to talk about a particular system, he will say my BWP system or my PIP system. So automatically the SAP basis person, or the rest of the people involved, they will know which system they're talking about. They don't have to every time say, okay, my PI system, my MD. It's not like that. And plus it needs to be identified within the application also. So it is important to give that name. Okay. And and as you know, every system that you install will have its SID, it will have its instance number, and it will also have server details, which is known as, which is basically the IP address, right? To connect to a particular system, you need to be able to provide its IP address. और क्या है? I'm just thinking what else we can cover, because time is up. Is there anything quickly that we can cover? You understood what is difference between technical and functional modules?
Yes, yes.
You understood. Uh, there is also the BW consultant is also there. That is a techno-functional thing. BW is techno-functional. Some part of it lies in technical, some part of it lies in functional. Okay, it can be, but it is related to business, so it is basically considered as functional. It can be put into functional. Solution manager is there. As a basis consultant, you are responsible for maintaining all these systems, but these functional consultants will work on particular systems, whichever is their field. So HR, FICO, PP, SD, all these people work, primarily they work on ECC. Okay, for PI there will be a separate PI consultant. BW obviously has BW consultant or BI. Then MDG has MDG consultant. GRC will have GRC security. Security also comes here under technical. Okay, GRC is basically the SAP security system, where users are created, authorizations are given, etc. Okay, so that is a GRC. Similarly, solution manager is also technical, but that comes under basis only. Solution manager is also part of basis. Solution manager is the monitoring system, monitoring and alerting. Like if you have all these systems, they need to be monitored whether they are working fine, is there any problem, is there any error, and if there is anything like that, then alert will be generated and it will be sent to the respective team. Okay, that is the work of solution manager, and solution manager also comes under basis. Similarly, CRM also has SRM, CRM consultant. Okay, so these are all are different systems. So depending on which functional module you have, you work on that particular system. However, basis is responsible for everything. Basis team works on all the system. Maintaining all the systems as working and is in good condition is responsibility of the SAP basis administrator. All right.
Yes.
Okay. I think we'll stop here today. All right.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
mm,
So, Raghavendra, do you have any queries, any doubts now? Hello.
No. Yeah. No questions related to that.
So, how was the session?
Yeah, it's good. Good.
Okay. So, Raghavendra, who is the counselor? Like, who provided this link?
Uh, I don't know. I need to check actually. 1 minute. I'm checking.
Okay. Okay. बस चल रहा है स्टोर गया था आईफोन स्टोर ले रही है हाँ अरे साला 4-5 हज़ार का एक्स्ट्रा लगा दे साला यहाँ पे किसका 14 का मुझे खराब हो गया मुझे रख भाई लेना है सर लेना